1-800-227-97. That's
Blog Talk Radio.
1-800-227-97. Tell them Steve sent you.
Here's hoping you're healthy and wealthy. South Florida's Health and Wealth Radio Network. AM 1470. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
Are you making investment decisions based on emotion? Do you have a plan for the good and bad times? Will the path you're on lead to a comfortable retirement?
Hello, I'm Mo Ansari, host of Market Wrap and president of Compact Asset Management. If fear has you in its grips, then it's time to take a look at your investments. At Compact, we specialize in providing wealth management solutions to help you reach your financial goals, no matter which way the market goes. Call me at 800-388-9700, and let's make an appointment to review your portfolio. You'll also meet the entire team at Compact that helps answer all of your what-if questions and creates a customized retirement plan. Call 1-800-388-9700, and let us help you take the fear out of your portfolio. Call 1-800-388-9700. That's 1-800-388-9700.
Compact Asset Management is a registered investment advisor, funds custodian, Fidelity Institutional Wealth Services, member FINRA, SIPC.
Regular listeners to Peter Bruno's long-running daily radio show, Managing Your Money, know about his original form of research analysis called psychoanalysis. This unique system, designed to watch and analyze stock market movement behavior in advance, has guided listeners and clients safely from the market high in the 14,000 area 2 years ago, all the way down to the previous lows below the Dow 6500, just as he protected his clients from the crash of 1987 and again in 2008. If you're not getting the same quality advice from your financial advisor, it's time you called Peter Bruno. Toll free anytime. Consider opening your personalized managed account or find out about the next free 90-minute seminar. The number is 1-800-592-5578. 592-5578. Call Peter Bruno anytime, 24/7. 1-800-592-5578. Benefit from the research that has forecast in advance 2 crashes. Peter Bruno. Call today. 1-800-592-5578.
The opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of its hosts, guests, and callers and are not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors. This is the Holistic Lifestyles Radio Show, brought to you by Holistic Lifestyles Radio Incorporated. Join us every day on AM 1470 WNN, South Florida's Health and Wealth Network. For more information about the show and our sponsors, be sure to visit our website, holisticlifestylesradio.com. That's holisticlifestylesradio.com. You can also find us on our Twitter podcast, Facebook, and blogtalkradio.com. Now, today's program.
Welcome to the Creating Café with your host, Barbara Joye, laughingly and lovingly known as the Shift Guru. Barbara is an author, motivational speaker, and life shift coach. She assists individuals like you to identify and shift limiting beliefs as they choose to create the life they deserve. Her show is focused on those perspectives that will assist you in creating the life you desire. She will be joined by fascinating guests who will share their own inspirational stories and will provide you with the tools and awarenesses to use to create a more dynamic life. Last but not least, Barbara will assist the Angelic Realm in sharing their insights with you. Enjoy the discussions as you learn how to apply these unique and empowering insights to your own life. Join Barbara at the Creating Café. Settle into a comfortable chair with your favorite cup of coffee or tea and a mind open to the possibilities of life. Consider the life you desire to create. Identify those areas in need of shifting and join Barbara as she provides insight and wisdom. You just might choose to shift a long-held perspective. Any shift of perspective shifts your beliefs and your life experience.
Hello and welcome to the Creating Café. This hour of possibilities in your life, this hour where you have the opportunity to consider possibilities you may not have considered before. And I can tell you, my guests today and the Angelic Realm are so excited to be bringing to you the topic we have. And the topic is about why we are not able to achieve that which we desire. And we've heard this spoken to us and told to us from many different scenarios. Today, with my guest David Friedman and the Angelic Realm to support us, we're going to find some wonderful tips to allow ourselves to create the lives we desire and deserve. As they said in the Creating Formula, the book I have out now, it's not about what society says we deserve or desire. It's not about what we're told to do. It's about what we feel is right. What we feel deep in our core is right for our living. So with that said, I'm going to step aside and let us move on in and invite in the Angelic Realm. And before I do, I want to remind you to find that place in your life, in your home, in your office, in your car, where you can sit back. And as we said in the intro, relax and open your mind to these possibilities. And now, the Angelic Realm. Thank you so much for inviting us in. Again, as we've told you on many occasions, we love the opportunity to consciously connect with you. We love the opportunity to share with you our knowing without trying to weave it into your thought patterns or have it thrown out because it's not in alignment with societal norm. We respect societal norm. We respect what it has done for you, and we also know its limitations. So let's move beyond those limitations. Let's talk about beliefs and sensations and thoughts and history, for they are all interwoven into this concept of why you, yes, you, do not seem to be able to create the lives that you desire and that from our perspective you deserve. From our perspective, you are an amazing creature. You are a conscious, cosmic creature. Consciousness is one of the differentiations between a soul in a non-physical form and a soul in a physical form. For in a physical form, you must necessarily align to some of the norms and customs in which you live. In the non-physical, there's no such alignment, so there's no such need for this type of consciousness. And this type of consciousness, as powerful and positive as it is, has some very deep drawbacks. And it is those drawbacks we wish to speak to today. Your thoughts, the thoughts you believe are true, the thoughts that you perceive are accurate to create a safe life, we call beliefs. Most of those thoughts you created in early childhood, before you were consciously aware of your thoughts, when you were very much operating from a reptilian brain set. You came into this conscious creating world of yours, knowing how powerful you were, and slowly, comment by comment, feeling by feeling, sensation by sensation, you limited your possibilities. And we tell you that those individuals, when you were one or two, perhaps, and you knew you could fly off the top of your roof, or perhaps 3 or 4 or 5, those individuals who told you you could not were doing all that they could to protect the physical being. The challenge, the downside, is they limited the cosmic knowing. Because when you accepted that statement as true, you accepted it as true in all regards, and it became a belief. And the I can't statement, and there it has many iterations, the I can't statement became more your norm than the I can. And we can look down and know what types of parents you were raised by. And by the way, we don't allow the blaming of parents, for you chose those parents in our perspective. You chose those parents to create the learning you have. You chose those parents so that you could begin to move out of the I can't mode. And yes, some of you have heavier doses of I can't. Some of you have amazing doses of I can, and it is the I can doses, the areas of your life that your parents, your grandparents, your siblings, your teachers perceive to be safe for you, that you're able to manifest easily, comfortably, with positive, what you define as positive sensations. And what you will hear later in this broadcast from the guest, David Friedman, is the statement that a sensation is a sensation. And we tell you that when you begin to understand that you have put judgments on sensations, that you can begin to release those judgments and understand them more easily as simply sensations. And look at what you are desiring in your life and have not yet created. And we can tell you that you have sensations and beliefs around the creating of those possibilities that are heavily loaded with the I can't. It's wrong. It's bad, even to the point of it's evil. And without laughing too hard, and yes, angels do laugh, we must tell you, you have labeled some of the most amazing things in life evil. And we can also tell you, without losing much focus at all, that you were not the labelers, but instead those who chose to control you were the labelers. And for whatever reason, and it's probably power and control, we're not entirely certain, you have allowed those beliefs, those thoughts that you perceive to be true, to limit your creating. Some may call them self-sabotaging. Some may call them culturally sabotaging. And it's not difficult in this day and age of your internet access and your access to world understanding to look at the different religions, which are groups of beliefs, and to see which ones limit what. And then you say, well, but mine limits the appropriate things. And we tell you that limitations limit your evolution. Limitations put on anything for a long period of time, in this case, centuries and generations, limit the soul's evolution. So when you feel the sensation of wrong, understand it is a limitation you have placed on that possibility. When you feel the sensation of right, and it is to a thought or possibility that enhances, broadens, evolves your living, makes it larger, possibly even larger than life, then we say that that thought, which has created that belief, enhances your evolution. And all of this knowing, all of this perspective comes from the perspective that you are unlimited. You are an unlimited soul in a physical form with a specific intentional experiencing. And that experiencing can come in many, many, many different perspectives, possibilities, and expansiveness of living. We ask you, we implore you to step in to your expansiveness of living. Step into it, feel the sensations, notice your thoughts, and know that if a thought limits you beyond keeping you purely and simply physically safe, and we do mean purely and simply, we do not mean theoretically physically safe, then we say release it. We say move through the sensation and release it. Thank you from the Angelic Realm. They have the most amazing insights. I just continue to wonder at all that they share and how they share it and their twists and their turns and their perspectives. I'd never looked at it that way. And then I had the opportunity to meet David Friedman. And he's the guest coming up. And ladies and gentlemen, listeners of all ages, backgrounds, possibility thinking, I can guarantee you that David Friedman is going to open your thoughts differently than they have ever been opened before. He's an amazing individual with Broadway show hits after Broadway show hits that he's directed the orchestra, with his own show that he's written and taken to an off-Broadway, being a composer for Disney and working with artists such as Diana Ross, Barry Manilow. He has come to the awareness. He has shifted his possibilities, and now he realizes his mission in the world. His mission in this life is to enlighten, heal, and support individuals such as you and I. He's awesome, he's funny, he's engaging, and he's got some wonderful tools for us each to implement. Stay tuned after this quick commercial break for my guest interview with David Friedman.
Attention, the 4th annual 12-Step Music Fest is coming November 3rd through the 6th in Sugarloaf Key, Florida. 4 days of music and fun with 12 musical acts along with the Rockers in Recovery Supergroup featuring Ricky Byrd, guitarist formerly of Joan Jett and the Blackhearts, Liberty DeVito, formerly of Billy Joel, Woody Geisman of the Del Fuegos, Jason Sultan of Todd Rundgren and Utopia, Christine Ullman of the Saturday Night Live Band, and 4 more to be announced by September. Find out more about this sober Woodstock in Sugarloaf Key by joining rockersinrecovery.com or by calling 877-799-8773. Free concert, Rockers in Recovery Memorial Day Weekend Concert, May 28th, 1:30 to 6:30 p.m., featuring Ricky Byrd, guitarist of the NYC Hit Squad and formerly of Joan Jett and the Blackhearts, along with Jason Sultan, bassist of Todd Rundgren and Utopia, Mick Jagger and Celine Dion, along with 3 other great bands, Johnny B and the Road Dogs, Keep Coming Back Band, and Rhetoric. Come out and join us at the First Step Sober House Memorial Day Free Concert at 450 Southwest 2nd Street, Pompano Beach. To find out more, go to rockersinrecovery.com or call 877-799-8773.
Are you ready to explode your business? Then you are ready to take advantage of the massive marketing power of the Holistic Lifestyles Radio Network. Advertise your business, product, or service with one of the most powerful multimedia platforms on the planet. With more than 300,000 online listeners, 30 social media outlets, and a booming 15 hours of live programming on South Florida's 50,000-watt mega giant, AM 1470 WNN. Your business will be exposed to hundreds of thousands of active, progressive consumers hungry for your products and services. You'll be featured on blogs, live streams, social media, at live events, and on hundreds of archived podcasts, including Rockers in Recovery, the East Coast music scene, Defending Your Money, and dozens more. Plus, prime-time national exposure during major festivals from Las Vegas to Boston and the Florida Keys. Get ready to take your business to the next level and jumpstart your branding strategy. Advertise your events, products, and services on the Holistic Lifestyles Radio Network. Call now for special discounted packages, 877-799-8773. That's 877-799-8773. Or visit HolisticLifestylesRadio.com.
In the fast-paced world we live in, it's hard to find a company that has an impeccable reputation based on professional skill and knowledge, coupled with a strong work ethic, honesty, and integrity. Welcome to the world of Canatelli Builders Incorporated. Specialists in custom residential and commercial construction for 3 generations, CBI finishes the job as agreed and on time. Browse our website at www.canatellibuilders.com. Read the testimonials, then call us at 954-977-2775 and let us add your name to our list of satisfied customers. While at the site, be sure to follow the link for complete information about Chinese drywall and what it may mean to you. Integrity, ethics, honesty, knowledge, performance, service, experience, Canatelli Builders. 954-277-2775. Canatelli Builders, the official contractor for the Florida Panthers.
You are listening to the Holistic Lifestyles Radio Show, brought to you by Holistic Lifestyles Radio Incorporated. For more information about the show and our sponsors, be sure to visit our website, HolisticLifestylesRadio.com. That's HolisticLifestylesRadio.com. Now, back to today's show.
And as I told you, listeners, today I have with me David Friedman. Amazing gentleman. Welcome, David.
Hi, it's nice to be here.
It is great to have you with us. You have just come out with this most amazing book, The Thought Exchange, Overcoming Our Resistance to Living a Sensational Life. How does this book, there's a lot of books out there today dealing with, you know, the secrets one and lots on the law of attraction. How does this differ? How is your message powerful?
Well, I'll tell you, basically, it differs in that I have read all those books and loved all those books, and I have done what they have said, and so have very many people. And what I discovered was that we are all very interested in spirit. We are hard workers. We're smart. We're not stupid. We're not lazy. And yet, we start down these paths, and for some reason, we can't do it. We can't stay with it. And so, you know, someone will say, well, take on a positive thought, and then you will see positive results. Well, everybody knows that. How come we don't do it? So in my work, I've decided the Thought Exchange started as a method, like many, to notice what you're thinking and see the results occur. And I noticed that as people got close to the results, they would suddenly just stop or just take on that old thought that they've had all their lives. So I thought there must be more to this. There must be some reason, some good reason why we don't stay with it. So I wrote a book about how to manifest things and how thoughts are reflected in the world. But I thought unless I can explore and help people to hang on to how to stay with their thoughts, I've only done half the job, because this seems to be the issue with people. You know, we make a New Year's resolution, we start the diet January 1st, and January 8th we're eating again. Or we say, you know, I'm going to have a positive thought, and then we go back to the negative. And it's not because it's too simplistic to say, well, it's familiar, or you're sabotaging yourself, or et cetera, et cetera. So I really began to deeply explore this. And what I realized was when you take on a thought generates a sensation. Now, I'm not talking about a feeling, because a feeling essentially is an interpretation of a sensation. You feel a tightness in your chest, and you decide that means you're angry. You feel a pounding in your heart, and you decide that means you're in danger. So, for instance, I'm mostly a musician and a performer and a writer, and there's not a time I go on stage where I don't feel a pounding in my heart. And if I assumed that meant I can't go on stage, I'd never go on stage. So I started to look, and I realized that thoughts generate sensations. Now, I've sort of realized that there are certain things in new thought which are almost commonly accepted, which actually couldn't be further from the truth. One of the things people think is that when you take on a positive thought, you are going to feel good.
Oh.
Forget it.
I think that.
Yeah,
I think that.
Well, let's say, so the point is, why would you not stay with a positive thought? Let's say when you were a child, you said, I can do this, and someone slapped you across the face and said, you cannot, you stupid idiot. Anytime you think, I can do this, you are going to feel as though you're going to be slapped across the face. And as a child, the only recourse a child has, since a child can't fight back, a child can't leave home, is for a child to make sure that it never goes near the thought that produced that sensation. What caused you to feel that is the thought, I can do this. If you take on a thought that is what I call a protective thought, protecting you against the sensation, you will take on, I can't do this, and you won't feel like you're going to be slapped. For instance, if you want to run the marathon, the first thing, I always say, what's the first thing people need? And they say, shoes. And I say, no. And they say, be in shape. No. The first thing you need to run the marathon is the thought, I can run the marathon. Otherwise, you won't even start. Now, you're holding the positive thought, I can run the marathon. In mile 20, I don't care who you are, you're going to be out of breath. You're going to be exhausted. Your legs are going to hurt. Your heart's going to be pounding. You're going to be starving. If you cannot tolerate those sensations, there's one very easy way to get rid of them. Exchange the thought, I can run the marathon, for the thought, I can't run the marathon. And you will stop, and you will feel better, except you won't run the marathon. Right. So when we have something that we have wanted for our whole lives that we don't seem to be able to get, it's because every time we take on the thought of getting it, we feel the sensation that we originally ran away from, and we jump to a protective thought, which is, I can't have it, and that thought produces the result, I can't have it. So we have successfully dodged the sensation, so we think. But the minute we don't get the result we want, we realize, but I did want that, and we're back at the sensation. So the only way to get a result from a thought is to be able to hold the sensation that the thought produces. So I can go on a stage because I can tolerate my heart pounding. People can ask people out because they can feel that sinking feeling because they think they're going to be rejected. And so it is not, I think, a thought and then peace. You see, peace, this is another huge misconception in new thought. Peace has nothing to do with comfort or relaxation. Peace is one thing, being able to be with what is. So I can be at peace with a pounding heart. I can be at peace when a family member dies. I can be at peace when my house burns down. It doesn't mean I'm at peace, that is so wonderful when the house burned down. I am feeling everything.
I love that.
Yes. Because people think they're supposed to be at peace, so they take the sensation as a sign that they're not in the right place.
Right.
And you actually are in the right place when you're experiencing it. And, of course, the sensation that meant so much to the child means nothing to an adult. No one's going to slap me. If they try to, I'll stop them, or I can walk away, or I'm independent because I'm not a child. But we spend our whole lives, like when people say, I'm afraid of success. Nobody is afraid of success. we're afraid of the sensations we will experience when we're successful. And it's only a sensation. So I know I just came out with a book, and we had a wonderful launch, and they spoke about it on Today's Show, and it went to number 5 on the bestseller list the first day. I feel horrible. I feel all these sensations, and the avoidance of those sensations was sort of the reason it took me a while to write a book. Once I could feel them, I could write the book.
So, David, walk us back to just for a minute. So I want to take my radio show to a bigger audience.
Right.
Let's just...
okay. You have the thought, I can take my radio show to a bigger audience. Now, I want you to just think that thought. I can take my radio show to a bigger audience. I can be huge. Okay. Notice where you feel a sensation. Notice the tight throat or the tight chest or the stomach ache or the kind of feeling. Or the tight chest. Right. And notice that sometimes you don't even let yourself feel that for a second. You go right to, well, that would be impossible because I have to do this, or I don't have enough money, or I can't do this, or no one will ever, or whatever protective thought you've taken on. So when you see that, when you see that protective thought, you move back to the sensation and just say, what am I feeling? Right. And feel the tightness or the stomach ache or whatever, and just be with it. That used to signal danger. Now it's just a tightness. Right. When you can feel that, the interesting thing is, because people say, but then what thought do I choose? This is a very powerful point. The only reason you will ever choose a protective thought is because you think you can't tolerate a sensation. The moment you tolerate the sensation, that thought will just evaporate. So, for instance, let me tell you a few examples. When I wanted to publish my book, and my book was not getting published. And thank God it wasn't getting published, because I made many discoveries that by the time it did get published, it was ready to. But at the time, I kept pushing and pushing. And finally, I sat back and said, all right, Mr. Thought Exchange, why don't you follow your own advice for a change? Because often we don't follow. Just because I tell you to do it doesn't mean I'm going to do it. And so I stopped and I said, well, according to what I know, if I'm not seeing the book published, it can only mean one thing, that I think I can't get a book published. So why don't I stop trying and just sit down every morning and go, is it possible, in the unlimited possibilities of the universe, without my knowing how, that I could get a book published? And the answer is, of course. And then I feel the sensations that went with that and the thoughts. But I just asked the question, and a fantastic, aggressive, wonderful, supportive publisher called me because I was open and connected to the whole universe in that way. And I was really saying, I was allowing myself to think of the thought that it's possible and feel what it felt like. I didn't worry about the doing. I didn't worry about the how. I just thought the thought. So what happens is immediately the world opens to you when you can stay with the sensations. And so you will think of a million reasons why you can't expand your radio show, but that only has to do with that every time you think I want to expand my radio show, you get this uncomfortable sensation, and you're waiting until you're comfortable. When I conducted my first show on Broadway ever, and I conducted thousands of performances, but this is the first performance, and a man named Charlie Blackwell was the stage manager, and he was a very experienced stage manager. And I'm standing on the podium getting ready to conduct for the first time, and he comes up to me and he says, well, David, this is your first Broadway show, and this is my 50th. And the difference between us is you feel like you're going to die, and you think you really will. And I feel like I'm going to die, and I know I won't. Amazing. That stuck with me. So I realize now I feel just as much like I'm going to die when I do things as I did years ago. But it's so, like I'm on the Today Show once a month. I write a song for the Today Show for the Everyone Has a Story segment. And I feel nothing when I go on. Now, if I stopped, I'd probably feel a pounding heart and a shaking, and I notice thoughts flying through my head like, oh, I hope I don't screw up. But I'm so used to those. and so willing to have them, and so know that they have nothing to do with my ability, then I just have them. I go, oh, yeah, right, that's, if you ask me, if you stop me.
They're just sensations.
They're just sensations. And in fact, with our book, we made up bracelets, and one of them says it's possible, and one of them says it's just a sensation, and one of them says exchange that thought, and one of them, because it really, what you just said is exactly it. It is just a sensation. But we have taken on thoughts, protective thoughts. Sometimes, if the sensation was so painful to us, we don't even know we had it. We go right to the protective thought. And so when you see yourself ever, the whole book, it's a whole method of that thoughts generate sensations, and if you can be with that, it generates a belief, which is a thought you think is true, and then you see the world. Now, this is another interesting thing, that one of the huge misconceptions in New Thought is that we are making things happen. If I think I can have $1 million in the right way, I'll have $1 million. We are not making anything happen. We are seeing our own thoughts in everything. So, for instance, I was at a dinner party a few years ago, and there was this woman who was getting a divorce, and she was hating her husband. And she said, I won't say what she said on the air, louse, has taken everything. I'm destitute. He's left me with nothing. I'm absolutely destitute. I don't know how I'm going to live. The only thing he's left me is the apartment, and I have to sell it to survive. I'm destitute. And someone said, oh, what are you asking for the apartment? And she said, $7,750,000. So we all get a good laugh out of that. But imagine having such an interior sense of destitution that you could experience yourself as destitute with $7 million. So really, she will see her destitution in everything. So it's not that any particular thing happens, it's that everything is available to you, and you will see the same thing in everything. So she will see destitution in $20 million. I was walking down the street the other day, and I saw a sign for the lottery, $350 million. And I said to myself, wow, wouldn't it be interesting to win the lottery, and so I'd have no mortgage, and I'd have unlimited money and could just do anything. And then I thought, I wonder how many seconds it would be before I replaced that with something else that I was worried about. Yeah. In the same way as I'm worried about money, because it's not the money, it's not the manifestation. That's another New Thought thing. People think the purpose is to manifest. Well, the world is a mirror. Everything, your entire experience is going on inside of you. I don't even know if I'm talking to you. I do know that I experience talking to you. I experience you, but I don't know if you're there. And so that's why when you talk about angels and stuff like that, because you don't see them, we don't see anything. You can see angels as clearly as you can see other people, and they're as real as other people. And there are no anything. It's all in you. So when we think that manifestation is the point, that's like trying to get something to be in the mirror. There is nothing in the mirror. It's just showing you what's in front of it. So I say, whatever is going on, whatever problem you're having, whatever upset you're having, it is there for you to see what you're thinking. And what you're running from, and what you're running from is a sensation. So go to the sensation, not to the problem, because the only thing the problem is a sensation. I crashed my car into a friend's car the other day backing out of the garage. I have a sickening feeling in my stomach. That's all it means. Once I realized that, I called the insurance company. I told my friends. I, felt their reaction, which was another sensation, but they were actually fine about it. And it got fixed, and the only thing that was the growth in it was that I had more ability to experience that sensation, so that I have reclaimed a piece of the infinite world that I made unavailable to myself years ago because I was afraid to feel a sensation.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, David, this is so powerful, so awesome, and I so thank you for being on this show and sharing it with myself and all the listeners. I for one, cannot wait to get your book, and maybe even a couple of those bracelets just to keep reminding me of things.
Yes.
And sadly, we're at the end, but before you leave, please tell the listeners how they can connect with your book and all this amazing information.
Great. Well, actually, we have a website called westhoughtexchange.com, and you can order the book through that website. You can also order the book through Amazon.com. And on the website, it's very interactive. You can contact me, and I love to be contacted. I love people asking questions, and I speak at New Thought churches and Unity churches and corporations, and I do corporate coaching. And so, anytime anyone wants to contact me about this, you could wake me up at 3 in the morning, and I'll talk to you about this. As you can see, I am at no loss for words about the subject.
Well, you're at no loss, and you have such a deep appreciation and understanding of it. Self-sabotage, we are so good at it, and you are bringing forth just an amazing solution.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yes, we're not sabotaging ourselves. We're protecting ourselves from something we don't need to protect.
We're protecting ourselves, and we're protecting ourselves from our magnificent futures. So
you're absolutely right.
Thank you again, David. Oh, my gosh, this is so exciting. And listeners, please stay tuned. We need to take a quick commercial break, and then we'll be right back to talk more about what David has shared with us.
It's the hottest new addiction recovery mega community on the web, Rockers in Recovery. Music, news, interviews, events, and festivals with an insider's angle to the rock and roll industry, all backed up by artists who are in recovery and support recovery, featuring dozens of rock legends like former Joan Jett and the Blackhearts lead guitarist Ricky Byrd, Richie Super of Aerosmith, and tons more. It's a worldwide music and media festival at your fingertips. Get inside the rock and roll recovery scene with a click of your mouse. Click rockersinrecovery.com. That's rockersinrecovery.com.
Attention, the 4th annual 12-Step Music Fest is coming November 3rd through the 6th in Sugarloaf Key, Florida. 4 days of music and fun with 12 musical acts along with the Rockers in Recovery Supergroup featuring Ricky Byrd, guitarist formerly of Joan Jett and the Blackhearts, Liberty DeVito, formerly of Billy Joel, Woody Geisman of the Del Fuegos, Jason Sultan of Todd Rundgren and Utopia, Christine Ullman of the Saturday Night Live Band, and 4 more to be announced by September. Find out more about this sober Woodstock in Sugarloaf Key by joining rockersinrecovery.com or by calling 877-799-8773.
My name is John Hollis, and of course I'm with Holistic Lifestyles Radio, and we want to talk about Crossroads of Antigua, helping people take the first step towards change. Do you know somebody struggling with addiction to alcohol, prescription medication, or other drugs? Crossroads Center of Antigua provides comprehensive detoxification, treatment, and continuing care services within a holistic body, mind, and spirit approach to recovery. Founded by Mr. Clapton, Eric Clapton, Crossroads Center is recognized as one of the top 10 international programs for addiction services. Crossroads provides quality, affordable care for individuals and their families. Call now for a free confidential assessment and speak with one of course, their admission counselors. Give them a call at 877-318-8834 or check out the website at crossroadsantigua.org. And remember, recovery is possible and is often life-saving.
Free concert, Rockers in Recovery Memorial Day Weekend Concert, May 28th, 1:30 to 6:30 p.m., featuring Ricky Byrd, guitarist of the NYC Hit Squad and formerly of Joan Jett and the Blackhearts, along with Jason Sultan, bassist of Todd Rundgren and Utopia, Mick Jagger and Celine Dion, along with 3 other great bands, Johnny B and the Road Dogs, Keep Coming Back Band, and Rhetoric. Come out and join us at the First Step Sober House Memorial Day Free Concert at 450 Southwest 2nd Street, Pompano Beach. To find out more, go to rockersinrecovery.com or call 877-799-8773.
You are listening to the Holistic Lifestyles Radio Show, brought to you by Holistic Lifestyles Radio Incorporated. For more information about the show and our sponsors, be sure to visit our website, holisticlifestylesradio.com. That's holisticlifestylesradio.com. Now back to today's show.
Thank you for returning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for staying with this hour of possibilities. And what a 1-2 punch from the Angelic Realm and David Friedman. Oh, my gosh, I love bringing individuals, these thought creators, to our possibility thinking. And David brought up some amazing nuggets of gold, and I'd like to talk about those for just a minute. But let's start with the question of what sensation can we not tolerate? What sensation can we not tolerate? Because as David shared with us in the Angelic Realm from a slightly different perspective, no surprise, the sensations that we cannot tolerate have links to them that limit us. And let me tell you a story in my life that actually has happened. I have a very, very dear friend. He has passed now. I got to know Mike and Peggy Donahue, who owned the Colorado Climbing School, when I realized I had a limitation on heights. I could not walk up to a window in a tall building. And so because I am kind of who I am and a little offbeat sometimes, I was introduced to these two wonderful people and took up technical climbing in the Rocky Mountains. And I didn't live in Colorado at this time, but it certainly created a draw. And oh my gosh, it was just amazing to notice my limitations, notice my fear sets. And I was roped in, and I had incredible people on belay, and nothing was going to happen to me. And I was climbing one day, and my mother's voice came to me, "Get off of there, you're going to kill yourself." And the climbing became easier because I began to realize what my limitation was. The fear, the sensation in my stomach when I was climbing, and would look down and would cut these tiny, tiny finger holds and toe holds. I heard my mother's voice, and I understood my limitation because the feeling, the pit of my stomach, the quivering in my legs were all sensations when she had yelled that at me because I was being a monkey as a child. And how many of you were monkeys? And I'll take it to the next level. If any of you have been out in Rocky Mountain National Park and done Trail Ridge Drive, that drive puts absolute butterflies in the pit of my stomach. I feel like coming around a couple of those bends, and I'm sure there's even more expansive roads out there. I just know this one. That it feels like I'm just going to lift off and fly. And fear sets in. And I had done this one day, and I was having dinner with my friends, the Donahues, and I explained it to them, and Mike, the sage, wise gentleman that he was, and still is in a non-physical form, said to me, what if you mentally shifted the perspective of that sensation in your stomach? I went, what do you mean? He said, what if those butterflies weren't fear? They were joy. They were excitement. They were, woohoo! And I said, well, no, you don't understand. He said, oh, yes, I do. And so the next day I drove back to that same section of road, turned around, and drove it, played with it, practiced it, as the Angelic Realm would say, practiced it until I shifted my paradigm, my thinking around that sensation. And that's what David is bringing to us in this most amazing conversation and most amazing book. And by the way, I did go out and buy it. I think he has really nailed another piece of this amazing puzzle of creating, of shifting, of recreating our lives to be what we want them to be. He talked about fear of success. And the Angelic Realm, as I was listening to him, brought in, and that's why money is the root of all evil. That there was a time in our history, many, many centuries ago, that the power mongers decided they wanted to keep the money because it was still safer with them. People wouldn't know what to do with it. And people, ladies and gentlemen, are you and I. And so they made money the root of all evil. And what's amazing is we've seen this played out in our government recently, where they handed millions of dollars to corporations who had abused the money, but it was safer with corporations, large organizations, than it was to have handed it out to the rank and file, because the rank and file doesn't know what to do with it. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is a theme, a societal norm that's followed us for centuries, since, quite frankly, the church wasn't a religious place, it was a powermonger place. And we see these beliefs over and over and over again, and I will lay money that many of us have the belief that we can't manage money, because we've been told that through actions, through our parents. Are you saving enough? Do you know how to manage money? Did you hear those statements? Or possibly worse, I don't know if there is a better and worse here, sitting at the dining room table in the evening or the kitchen table and hearing the parents talk about not ever enough money. We can't have that operative word. If you hear in your mind the word can't, stop. As David would say, feel the sensation that goes with can't, and then track back through that sensation, if you will, and rethink it. Because the answer truly is you can. If it's a possibility in your life, you can, to one degree or another. I don't know what your agenda is. I don't know what your intention to experience is. And I can tell you without that knowing that you can. How's that? And I'm going to go one step further. We all can. And if you say, I don't want to, that's choice. Acknowledge that you're making the choice, because an I can't statement is a choice. It's saying, I can't tolerate the sensations, as David would say. And I love the term sensations, because he's not confusing us with emotions and feelings. He's being very literal. Sensations. I can't deal with them. Peace. What a credible definition he gave us. The ability to be okay with what is. That doesn't say we don't want to change it. It's getting into the feeling of the peace of, well, this is what is now. There's a saying that I hear often, and I kind of picked up as being accurate for me. Don't know if it's accurate for you. And there's a saying that which we push against, that which we deny about ourselves, our lives, whatever, is that which will keep showing up over and over and over again. And every time it shows up to a greater magnitude. Yuck. So if I'm not at peace with something and I'm trying to push it off, go away, go away, go away, go away, it's just going to keep coming back at me. Because if I'm not at peace with something, consider the possibilities, ladies and gentlemen, that one of your intentions in this lifetime is to be at peace with it. I had an experience at a recent conference, and I've had this experience with the same lady. And after talking with David, and after working with the Angelic Realm on it, and she would always come up to me when I was talking to 3 or 4 people and kind of move her way in and say, Barbara, you have some mascara under your eye. And I would just get so frustrated, and I wouldn't know why. And I was sitting in this conference, and, of course, she'd done it again. It's one of her patterns. And I had invited it in again, my creating. Okay, I take full accountability for that. And I saw that what she was giving me the opportunity to become at peace with, as David would say, was not being perfect. Being imperfect. Not being in alignment with societal norm, because we all know that mascara is supposed to be on our lashes, not below our eyes. So being the little ornery person I am sometimes and being the person of experiencing that I am, the next day, it was a 2-day conference, I put mascara on, and this time I made sure there was some under my eye. And true to form, because I have, in my belief, I have this individual in my life to show me some things, she interrupted, waited. She'd seen me 2 or 3 times during the day, but she waited till I was with a group of people talking. And she came up, she says, Barbara, you have mascara under your eye. I said, I know. Starting a new fashion statement. Well, let me get it off. No, I'm just fine. Thank you. Thanks so much. She didn't know what to do. She truly didn't know what to do. Because in the past, I'd shrunken myself. You've all done this, ladies and gentlemen, because I couldn't deal with the sensation of not being perfect. And oh my gosh, did my mother's words come back to me and my siblings' words come back to me. Remember your slip is showing? Or for a gentleman, your fly is down? And that sensation of, oh my gosh. You'd think the world was coming to an end, wouldn't you? Because that was the thought that we turned into a belief that made us less. So I love David's comment about becoming at peace with what is, and his beautiful example of backing into a friend's car. Becoming at peace with what is. So I'm going to ask you this next week, I'm going to ask you to notice when you're not at peace. And you can just take note of it, continue the conversation, do whatever you choose to do. And then that evening or in the next moment, your choice, to feel that sensation. Bring it back in. You can do that. We all can. And notice the sensations running your lives. Notice the sensations keeping all of us from being who we can be. And then, ladies and gentlemen, recreate, redefine, and remake your lives, each of us. And with that, we've come to the end of the show. Darn it. Thank you so very much for being with me today, for enjoying the Angelic Realm and David. Go to my website, www.theshiftguru.com. Sign up for my once-a-month e-newsletter. If this has been valuable to you, it will get posted on Blog Talk Radio or is posted there now. Have friends go to it and listen to it. Listen to it as a group and dissect it. Play with it. Enjoy it. And as with David, call me up. My telephone number's there on my website. Email me with your questions, and let's play at creating the best, most dynamic, most incredible lives we can. Thank you. Have an awesome week. I'll connect with you next week.
If this show has opened some possibilities you would like to explore, visit Joy at her website, www.theshiftguru.com. That's THESHIFTGURU.com. Consider the tools available to you through her books, speaking topics, and offerings as a guide. Also, sign up for her short monthly newsletter and receive free ebooks dealing with angelic topics. Joy has assisted individuals just like you to create the lives they desire, one shift at a time. Call Joy at 303-880-5950 or complete the contact form on her website to set an appointment now. Begin shifting your life experience.
Thank you for listening to Holistic Lifestyles Radio Show. This program is sponsored by Holistic Lifestyles Radio Incorporated. Join us every day right here on AM 1470 WNN. You can also find us on our Twitter podcast, Facebook, and blogtalkradio.com. For more information about the show and our sponsors, be sure to visit our website, holisticlifestylesradio.com. That's holisticlifestylesradio.com. All broadcast rights to this program are the property of Holistic Lifestyles Radio Incorporated. Rebroadcast of any portion of this program without express written consent is prohibited. The opinions expressed on this sponsored program are strictly those of hostess and callers and are not necessarily those of this station, staff, management, or sponsors. The preceding program is a Rockers in Recovery radio production. Rights to this program are the sole rights of Rockers in Recovery Radio, Incorporated. Rebroadcast of this program in any form without express written consent is...
Here's hoping you're healthy and wealthy. South Florida's Health and Wealth Radio Network. AM 1470, WWNN, Pompano Beach.
AM 1470, with even more information you can use. Tune in for the latest cutting-edge information on sickness, exercise, and premature aging. Join Dr. Bruce Heatondahl for Health is Wealth Live, Saturday mornings at 9 a.m., right here on South Florida's Health and Wealth Network. AM 1470, with even more information you can use. Join pharmacist and educator Jerry Hickey for the Invite Health Radio Show at a new time, Monday through Friday mornings at 10 a.m. Tune in for the latest information on nutrition and cutting-edge solutions to your most pressing health problems. It's the Invite Health Radio Show with pharmacist and educator Jerry Hickey at a new time, Monday through Friday mornings at 10 a.m. right here on AM 1470 WNN, South Florida's all-new Health and Wealth Network.
This is Steve Kane with an important message for diabetic patients. Medicare rules have been changed this year, creating mass confusion, causing you to spend more money out of your pocket than you have to. Don't be fooled by deceptive ads from the chain pharmacies promising low copays and simplified testing. But one thing you must remember, there's no company, no matter how large, that can beat the low cost you'll find at Pro Medical East Medical Supply. The home delivery option alone will save you up to $200. Pro Medical East Medical Supply accepts most national and regional insurance plans in Florida, and including, of course, Medicare and Medicaid. And if you're not insured, they'll get your medical supplies at the absolute lowest cost. Make sure you ask about the no-cost option. Call 1-888-200-2797. That's 1-888-200-2797. Tell them Steve sent you.
Good morning. Jim Newcomer from Midas Resources. May 11th, 2011. Gold opened this morning at $1,516. A 1-ounce gold coin can be purchased for $1,554.48, $777.24 for a half ounce, or $386.62 for a quarter ounce. That's $1,554.48, $777.24, and $386.62.
The Constitution and the Bill of Rights have been reduced to old relics politicians ignore or trample with their outlandish, overreaching policies. Your support for the Campaign for Liberty stands in the way of this insidious process. Hi, this is Ted Anderson. I have teamed up with the Campaign for Liberty to offer the authentic proof quarter-ounce pure gold coin. For only $440 plus shipping, Midas will donate $100 to this incredible organization. Help fight big government by ordering your gold coin at 800-686-2237. You get to win twice by owning gold and fighting an overreaching government. Call 800-686-2237. That's 800-686-2237.
AM 1470 WNN is now the Health and Wealth Network, featuring more of the information you're looking for. Join us for the best health programs every day. Then, in late afternoons and evenings, tune in for more information for your financial success. Only on AM 1470 WNN, South Florida's all-new Health and Wealth Network. The opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of its hosts, guests, and callers and are not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors. This is Stern on the Street with your host, Senior Financial Advisor Michael Stern, brought to you by Stern Investments. This program is your inside track to cutting-edge strategies that will help you to navigate today's uncertain financial climate. If you have any questions...
We can stop HIV, Iowa.
One key step, getting tested for HIV.
An estimated 14% of people in Iowa living with HIV don't know their status. The CDC recommends everyone get tested for HIV at least once in their lifetime, or more often when needed.
So testing is important.
Yes! Testing is the only way to know your status. It's the first step in getting additional HIV prevention services or HIV care.
Find out more at StopHIVIowa.org.
With Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to... Has anyone seen the bride and groom?
Sorry, we're here. We were getting lucky in the limo and we lost track of time. No, Lucky Land Casino, with cash prizes that add up quicker than a guest registry.
In that case, I pronounce you lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Daily bonuses are waiting. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.